Hello and welcome back. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and I have been an e-commerce seller for 22 years now. Primarily in the last 12 to 15 years, my husband and I have been in what's known as the wholesale business model, meaning that I buy from importers or big companies, and we buy on a wholesale pricing and then sell like a regular retail store would, except our difference is we've just been online. We've been on eBay and Amazon now, just primarily doing that as our only source of income for the family since 2017, and it's our only place of selling. We don't sell in brick and mortar stores, we just do it online. But now, in facing that in the next 2 to 3 years, we want to relocate, we want to go into part-time retirement. I don't want that business model anymore. It's too product heavy, it's too many things going on. It's a very consuming business model, and it's a very high volume and a lot of irons in the fire type of thing. So I'm going to bring you along. Come along on this journey with me. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and I'll get to that later. But I'm doing this as a vlog for showing my growth through all of this, because I want to build this into a 6-figure income. And my goal is to have this consistently selling about 10 to 12 products, maybe 15 products a day. And I'd like to have a net profit of $20 after all fees. And that's what my goal is. And I don't expect to happen overnight, but I'm inviting you along on this journey with me because it takes time, it takes effort, it takes strategy to do that. And we all learn by seeing what other people's doing, talking about what works, and that's what this channel is about. And you're going to get a lot of content out of this as to how and where the differences between the wholesale business model comes in, because I can't avoid it. Meaning, like right now, it is the 21st of August, and I have huge shipments coming in, like pallets of shipments coming in. I'm going to start being strapped for time in being able to make YouTube content, and also being able to handle this other secondary eBay business. So I'm having to be in this strategy of how do I get that business to keep sustaining itself through this time period when I'm having to be devoted to something else. My something else happens to be another business. Maybe for you it's another obligation like a job, or maybe you're having young children or somebody that's you're a caretaker to. So we all have these other secondary things. So today I'm bringing up, I took a large disbursement out of the business, which is what the business is there for. So I took the disbursement out, and because this is still relatively new, I've only been doing this for 2 months now, I don't have that large nest egg of funds. And there's several opportunities coming up this week, and I couldn't avoid taking the disbursement and waiting another time period. This was just when a bill was due and we needed it for it. And there's a really, really good sale coming up this weekend. And I may have mentioned in the past that where I reside, I am in a very central location that I can take major highways and interstates and be in very different cultural and urban or suburban, even financial areas within an hour or two for me. So I have a lot of opportunity, and it gets tough. I know people think it's tough too when you don't have a lot around you, but having too much around you can be a problem too. But there is one estate sale coming up this weekend that is within about a 40, maybe 45-minute ride for me, but it's a very affluent area. Matter of fact, a lot of your professional sports people live there. A lot of it's a suburban out of Philly, and there's a lot of wealth in this town. And the home that's having the estate sale, you can tell, is a person of means. But when you look at the totality of what's at the sale, there is some product there that I know for my wholesale business is a very desirable product line. It's not a very custom one that you're going to find in the secondary market. And I'm going to tell you, the people that collect this particular item have to be some of the craziest collectors as far as what they're being willing to spend in my time period of ever having listed it and sold it in the past. For various reasons, there's why I'm not carrying it currently. Would I carry it again? Maybe. But anyway, I was thinking to go and get this product. I don't think, like I said, looking at the totality of what is there, that there would be that many people in competition with me for this. But I'm expecting that the people holding the sale are going to be looking for top dollar because it's an affluent house. So they're going to already know that everything in this house is of some brand name and stuff. But also the people holding it advertise themselves as the white glove estate sale people. So anybody doing that is right off the bat telling you that, you're not going to be paying dirt cheap prices. So I don't know that I'm really in the economic realm to go and get a lot of stuff from the sale. I may go, they're going to be held Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I may go like on that Sunday and see, because like I said, some of this stuff I think is going to be overlooked because I think people are going in and they're going in for that really high name brand stuff. Second was, there's another estate sale being done on Friday and Saturday that I'm really going to be looking at, because when you're doing estate sales, most of the time there is a certain stigma of stuff that people want. This particular sale has a lot of, this is the second sale I'm talking about now, has a lot of collectible coins that are the proof ones. There's a lot of sports stuff there, whether it's like memorabilia stuff, like the little figures and things like that. So that's going to have a whole nother clientele coming. A third one is a ton of Hot Wheels cars. I mean, tons. I saw them with like a dozen boxes. I don't know if they were stapled together. It looked like it must have been a certain collection that they were all somehow adhered together. The ones that hang on the tags. So that's a whole nother level of people collecting. And then that particular item that I caught my eye was some vintage toys, and it was like basically one or two photos that were just kind of like this group shot and nothing individually shown. That tells me who and what the estate people are seeing as value. They're not seeing what I'm looking at as the value. So I don't think if I were to go to this one, I'm going to have a lot of people in competition with me to get it, versus the other sale I think is going to be one of them crazy nut ones where they're probably like the day before going there to get in line. I know, like, I'd have to be there at like 2 a.m, if not. So I don't think I'm at that level yet. I'm still, like I said, I'm into this. Been to, 4 estate sales? No. I went to 4 estate sales with the one company that I did the pre-purchasing with, and then I did 2 other ones, and I didn't even buy anything because they were like so crazy. So I'm not in that league yet. There is always opportunity. Oh my God, always opportunity to buy something. So I don't need to run around and do all that yet. Maybe as I graduate into that. So then that's what I think I'm doing for Friday. Saturday and Sunday seems to be the same company, but it's kind of intriguing to me. The one on Sunday I'll talk about first says to bring your gloves, flashlight, and like willingness to want to be like a treasure hunter or something. My guess is this must be like a hoard that they just can't manage to get everything together. I have no idea what to expect. And they're saying that they're just going to price by the bundle or something to that degree. So that tells me they want to get volume out of there. You're going to be able to just go in and just do whatever you want to do with this stuff. So I'm kind of intrigued by that. That one's going to be at a little bit distance from my house. All 3 of these are going in a different direction than I typically would go in. I typically tend to go towards the east, and this is kind of going more west. So when I make my decision, I'm going to have to know that, when I go to the east, I know those areas, I know those roads that I can also look for things like the yard sales and stuff. I don't know how much of that I'm going to be able to do. I don't know how much of that more I'm going to be able to do in these other ones. So then the Saturday one that I mentioned was the same people. They're claiming they're going to have some preview photos, which were not up yet. This was Tuesday night. They were not up yet. And they claimed that items, I think it was like over $10 were going to be marked, and then everything else was going to be this bulk price. And again, it was all worded the same kind of way, talking about the bulk pricing as the one on Sunday. So that lends me to think that both of these were the same one. So one of the other things I have to understand is stretching my dollar or getting the most impact. Sorry. This throat thing is just so annoying. I cannot wait till they can figure it out. The thing with the first estate sale that I mentioned that I think I'm out of my league on is that, like, if I go in and get something for 20 that can sell for 60 or something that degree, that's great. But if I can go to these other ones and get something for like $1 or $2 and it sells for 30, I'm going to get more money out of that. My problem has to be that I'm getting the stuff that's going to turn over very quickly. Stuff that's not going to necessarily just sit there. So my goal in this coming week, like I said, the last two I can't do any research for. The one that I think I'm targeting for Sunday, I'm going to do what I can for research. The items that I know I want, I don't have to research. I already know what those values are. I'm going to look at what else is there. But I have to focus this week on listing everything I could possibly list, getting rid of as much stuff as I can to get money together and have some money with me. I guess I lied. I guess it was another estate sale I went to. I went to a moving sale, and I went to it and the prices were so crazy that I didn't buy anything. So I still have money that I took out to have on hand for that yard sale that I haven't anticipated to use for this coming weekend. And I mean, I have been making some sales. I will tell you that an update to the Shiny Bright stuff was, I mentioned when I bought that lot, I bought a huge lot of them, and then I threw in some candle ornaments that were clip-on glass ones. And out of all of the original Shiny Bright and those ones that I added on, I had 21 listings. Included in there were the 2 listings of the candles that because there was a bag of them, I took half and only listed half, and they went into 2 listings. I had 2 listings of just multiple different ornaments that just did not fit to the Shiny Bright. They were like these Santa ones that were figural that came from Rite Aid. There was snowman and just other cheaper brands and more modern brands than the vintage Shiny Bright. So I had 2 listings of those that I just put up, just trying to get rid of them, figuring anything else I got was just going to be gravy. And I didn't mention that in that bag was also 4 of these like disposable biodegradable bags that you would use for a live Christmas tree, that you would just like wrap them up in and throw the tree out. And those, I had 4 of them I listed in 2 lots. I don't expect those, I put them right on eBay. I don't expect they're going to sell until probably like late December, when people start thinking about disposing of the trees. So those, again, that'll just be extra gravy when that sells. Not a lot of money, but it's something. So I really only have 2 lots of Shiny Brights left. I had put them up 2 nights ago in another Christmas Facebook group, and I had one person that stopped yesterday and paid cash and picked them up in person. So that left me with the 6 lots. Like I said, 2, wasn't really thinking I was gonna, ever really sell anyway. 2 were the candle ornaments that I basically took because I wanted them for myself. So I really have 2 lots left, and truthfully, those I'm kind of surprised, because one is a lot of bell-shaped glass ornaments from them, and the other one, I think the problem with that is there's only 5 in that set, and I priced them higher because 3 of them were all matching, and it's this more, people have commented they haven't really seen these stenciled ornament designs before. So I think I'm going to just group both of those sets back together now and just put them up on the eBay marketplace and try to get them gone. So I made a lot of money from that sale. And what I'm finding is my problem, I'm not getting to the wrap-up videos at the end. And that's where trying to get my videos posted is hanging me up. So I think I may be better off doing just a mini like insert to each video of when the stuff sells, and updating you as each thing's occurring, instead of trying to be there with flip files and do it at the end. I'm going to try that format, see if that works for me, because I do have several videos waiting to be uploaded right now. And it's not doing anybody any good for just sitting in my, phone storage. So we'll try that coming up, and we'll be back. I'll update you how my estate sales are going, and sooner or later I have to look into just getting a GoPro, because I think it would really behoove all of us to be able to see what I'm looking at, what my thought process is. And a lot of these estate sales don't post everything. Like I said, the thing I want to go for on Friday is just like thrown in a box. Like, they're not really. So I think it would benefit me to also be able to go back and watch this to see what else I'm missing that never showed up in the pictures that I probably left behind, that I should keep my eye out for in the future. So I will be back. I'm back because it's Thursday, and I'm here with an update that I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. And I felt like it was an update that needed to be said, because this is such an irony. This is now the 4th time I have tried to make this video, and if anything happens this time, I'm just gonna let it be in the video. I had made a certain amount of, had this day for what was going to get done. And when you think you're going to be your own boss and you're going to work from home, I'm going to just tell you the reality is it isn't all like a party and exciting and there goes the motorcycle. It doesn't happen where, it's just going to be this euphoria that goes on, truthfully. I know people look at it like I'd be so much more productive being at home, or I can't stand working around these coworkers, or this boss doesn't do this or doesn't do that. The reality is you just trade it in for something else, honestly. So, yesterday didn't quite go as planned, and I thought to myself, okay, but at the end of it, I will have all my videos done. I mentioned before that I need to have the wrap-up videos done for the other 2 weeks for my sales, and it's not getting done. And it's not getting done because I cannot find a time in my household that I can do these videos and not have something going on. What I've tried to do is, I've tried to do it early in the day, but then that winds up being when somebody needs to take a shower or make lunch, or something has to come in and ask me a question, or so I've learned that, I've tried to do it at night, and even at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, it could be, the cats will start like running around like nuts. So I've never found a good time when there's anybody home. And today was the day. Today was going to be that day that I was going to get the last 3 weeks worth of wrap-up videos done that I needed to get done to upload. So what do you think could happen today? Well, it's almost like a comedy of errors. So it starts with the first 2 videos that I did was me not recollecting how to sort my own sales data, because I've only done it like 2 or 3 times before. So I made videos with the wrong content. Then I tried, and it is a beautiful day. I have my windows open in the car right now, and the neighbor's dog would not stop barking. So I had to go around and I had to close all of my windows in my house and try to re-record this. So I was having various issues because my phone apparently in all of this is now like run low on a battery and doesn't want to record because it wants me to go into low battery mode. So we got past that, I thought. And then my defense on this is that somebody stopped last week and had asked my husband about doing our driveway with asphalt. I'm sure you've all had those people that they just happen to have extra asphalt and they want to know if you want to use it to paint your driveway. And I'll say we have a very large driveway, so there's not enough extra you're going to have in this truck to do this job. And we have a stone that I didn't realize must be so precious that we go to one of the most major distributors in the area to get this stone. And it's just a smaller stone, it's a certain whatever local color. And now all of a sudden they can't sell it to us this year because there's a stone shortage. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but I'll let you know that they couldn't sell it to us because they needed that for other jobs that were like, I guess, mandatory jobs. And so when this person stopped my husband to say, about the asphalt, his response to this person was, if you can get this driveway stone, hire you for the job, but I don't want asphalt. We can't, God only knows. We'd have to take out probably like 3 mortgages to do this driveway. No, that's not going to happen. So today, the last time I was just like, okay, this is like too much, was I have a chip in my windshield. And these windshields now, with the technology that's built in, I don't even want to know how much this windshield would be to replace. And it's a very small chip. And I had stopped at an auto body store, or an auto body shop, and they told me that they would have the person contact me that would come out and he would pass my information along. So this guy was supposed to call me ahead of time, and he just showed up this morning, and this was the final straw. And said, all he kept saying was about a stone chip. Well, I'm thinking it's the guy from this asphalt guy, and I'm like, I was kind of rude, and that's why I'm embarrassed. But like I said, in my defense, I thought it was this guy. And he's like going about the stone chip, and I'm like, well, you're gonna have to come back like when my husband's here. I don't know what to, I can't answer these questions for you. And he's like, so you don't want me to look at your windshield? And that's when it dawned on me. I was like, oh God. I'm like, oh yes, I'm sorry. I was so embarrassed. I wound up giving him $20 at the end of it because he wasn't going to charge me, because it's like I said, it's such a small chip. He put a little bit of resin or something in there. So I wound up giving him $20 for lunch because I was so embarrassed. And then by the time I got back to my phone, it was so dead that it shut off. So I say all of that story to tell you that there is no way that you think that it's going to just go easy, or it's going to, it's just going to be different. The reason I mentioned that, like, this is the 4th time I've tried this video, I usually record in my car because I can control this environment more. So I have tried this video now 4 times, and the first time I had 2 gentlemen in pickup trucks with squeaky trailers have to have like a pull up in front of me and have a little conference. And I should mention, I am like all the way in the back of this Starbucks parking lot where, there is like nobody parked back here, but they had to have a conference. That was the first time. And then the second and third time I should have known better, but the second time I started the video again, and a pickup truck of a whole family of people had to pull up next to me and have all kinds of slamming doors and laughing and conferences, and yeah. So I should have known better, because I should have expected how long they were going to be in Starbucks. I mean, really, today is the first day of pumpkin season, and the lines have been long. So I guess I thought people getting their pumpkin fix would take longer than this family of 4 or 5, whatever they were, would be. And I didn't get to finish in time, because then they came back with the laughing and the giggling and the whatevers, and I had to stop again. So that was the 3rd time. So that's why this is gonna just happen, whatever it happens, truthfully, because it's just what it is. This is what it means when you work for yourself, is that you have to just deal with whatever life throws your way, and you have to just make it work. And I say all of this because I didn't get through what I said I needed to get through, and I have a lot of stuff still at the house. I don't know what I'm going to do. I felt that it was necessary to put this in the video because it doesn't all come up with these great big, moments. There is so much struggle along the way. There is so much struggle. And you have to think it through and get it done. That's all I gotta tell you. You just gotta get it done. So now it is almost 1:30, and I have my Starbucks fix. I did not get my videos done. I'm gonna hope that maybe my husband is still kayaking, that I can get home and finish this wrap-up video. And if he doesn't, if he is, I'm gonna have to get those listings done. So I will let you know what's gonna happen for tomorrow. I'm gonna try and quickly come on as stuff sells and shows the pricing. I bought this for $1 at the 95 house yard sale in Lancaster. And it's so funny is that yesterday I had somebody submit an offer for 19 that I took. And the way offers work is until the item gets paid for, it is still available on the marketplace for sale. And I honestly thought that the eBay automatically charged when you accepted the offer, but apparently not. And they never paid. And I had somebody come in this morning that's a totally different buyer and offered 18. and I took it and I got paid immediately. So just goes to show, that sometimes you think you have offers and they don't pan out. So I had $1, it sold for 18. I'd have to go through all the calculations to see what the payment's going to be on the payout. But I want to say I'm probably going to get like 14 or 15 after all the fees and stuff. Again, I don't know if I'm going to continue doing the format of showing Flipwise because it is bogging me down and not allowing me to upload videos in a timely fashion. So I think I'll just leave it in this format for now and you tell me what you think of it. See. Here's another item that sold in this week. Today's August 22nd, and he sold on an offer for $30. This was an item that I bought in the community sale in Lancaster. I believe I allocated $1 for him. And these are Valentine items. I'm expecting that the other 6 that I bought is going to sell probably closer to around Christmas time. So when I got the offer for $30, I was happy to accept that. There's been a couple other items from the same sale that I bought that were like 50-cent dollar items, and I put them in the lot because I wanted to get these items cheaper. I'm familiar with this brand. They are one that's been at the wholesale markets when I've been there, and I've actually considered bringing it in as a brand to carry. And now that I have seen these ones, I see who and what they are, I'm starting to see them show up at some of the estate sales. So I may look at that to bring in for my wholesale business. We will see. So he sold for $30. I'm expecting by the time I'm done, I'll probably get about $22 to $25 for him. And like I said, I paid $1. So that is exciting for me. So today is Friday, and I decided to go. I did get through 3+ tubs of stuff from my basement stash from the business last night. It was a lot of similar, and it was bigger, bulkier stuff, so don't be too impressed. Anyway, it was up at 4:30. This yard sale was advertising that they were not going to post the address until 5 a.m. I don't know what the reasoning is for that. I've seen a few other ones doing that. I guess that's so that they can avoid people kind of camping out for a while. I mentioned previous that this estate sale is advertising a lot of things. These people collected so many things. Everything from, I told you, sports memorabilia to Hot Wheels to the porcelain bells and stuff. I'm wondering if it's like generations of people in the house collecting. I don't know, because like I said, there's a lot of various different collections. One of the things I did notice when I went back through and tried to familiarize myself with what was going to be there were these boxes of things that were a nativity. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I kind of wrinkled up my nose. And I did a Google reverse image search and found out that they are Avon. I was not aware that Avon had made a nativity, but I am no connoisseur of Avon, so I didn't know. And there are some rather desirable pieces, and if you group up the items, they can be going for about $150 on average. These do have the boxes, so that is another bonus, because it seemed like having the boxes was more desirable. I'm going to have to wait and see what the pricing is. I did notice a few things. There was 2 items that I'm assuming there was a price tag on them, but I don't know if it was the estate sale people had priced it, or maybe this was the price that these people had paid at a yard sale or some other function themselves. And it was a vintage dress-up doll that was Miss Piggy, and another one was Kermit the Frog from the Muppets. And each of those were still in their box and marked with 120. Those were items I found on eBay that had sold for about 200. I didn't look up Miss Piggy, I just looked up Kermit, and I was kind of surprised. That was kind of from my error, and I don't remember them at all. and I didn't realize there were so many outfits that went with them too. So again, I'm getting there rather late. I'm not going to get there until about 8:15, it says on my GPS. I don't expect that I'm going to be in the first even 20 because I am going to be getting there, like I said, rather late. They do open at 10, so, and it is a Friday, so, you know, unless you're a professional reseller like myself, or you take, well, maybe somebody took the day off or whatever, I don't expect I'm going to be even in the top 20 of people going in the house. There was even things like a handmade quilt that was like 3D. It wasn't just the granny squares. It was, it meant an Afghan that was crocheted. So there's a random allotment of stuff that's going to be available. So I figure it'll be worth it. And then I'm going to be within like a 10-minute drive of the other sale. Again, it was happening yesterday. I mentioned this in my previous video that they had stuff from everything from this was a very wealthy person. I don't know if it's their estate or if they're moving. I don't know what it doesn't really matter because their stuff is for sale. And they were a person of means, and this, I mentioned, was an area that people from Philadelphia will move there. It's like a suburban area for them. And I figure I'm going to go. I'm going to be relatively pretty close. And they had so much as well. I'll see what is left, and I'll report back. This is all Christmas. It's all Hallmark. So I am not buying any of that. I cleared off this table over here. Try not to show that guy. I cleared out the whole table. All right, peeps. I did it. This is the house. I was number 16 on the list. And let me see if I can, hold on. I'm going to try and do this quick. I did a wrap-up video in the car at the site, and I'm going to tell you, I was just so hot. I'm still, like, recuperating here. But I had the air conditioning pumping, and the audio was bad. So let me give you a little update. I got there, it was about 8:15, and there was only 2 other cars. One was this refrigeration van that had these 2 guys sitting in it. One was an older gentleman, and the one, I say he's a kid, but he was probably in his like mid-20s. And I just said, you know, are they doing numbers? Like, what is the system that works here? And they said, oh, there's a sign-in sheet up at the door. And I got up to the door, and it was in this, like, between the storm door and the front door. And I signed up, and at that time I could tell that I could see through the door. They had side lights or skylights in there and stuff. Side lights. I hope not skylights, right? And I could see the dining room, and surprising, it had, you know, dining roomy stuff. And I went back to get in my car, and I stopped. And I said, do you guys mind if I ask you something? And they're like, what? And I said, you know, have you shopped with this company before? Because I was looking for a couple things. One was, how fair was their pricing? 2 was, they had a bunch of rules of things like you couldn't bring in bags and boxes. And, you know, I kind of wanted to feel like, are they really serious about this? Because I knew I wanted to try to get this vintage Fisher-Price, and it was a lot of stuff. If you're not familiar, they're the big houses and buildings and stuff. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to manage all that. They're like, no, you know. So we got talking, and I find out that the younger gentleman, the kid, as I called him, was there because he does flea markets, and they were interested in mainly these coins that I mentioned. And the older gentleman said, oh, yeah, I'm on toy assignment. I'm like, oh, God. And I said, well, what number did you wind up in? And they're like 12 and 13 or something. Well, I'm 16. So I was shocked at how low of a number I got, feeling at the time, what time I arrived there, that I was at. So we chit-chatted for a little bit, and I know one of the rules that they had was you cannot use the bathrooms. If they catch you using the bathrooms, they're going to remove you from the sale. And I thought, oh my God, don't tell me I can't use the bathroom. My over 50 bladder is not going to handle this well. So I told him, I said, I had plenty of time. I had like over an hour until it started. And I said, well, I'm going to run off to what's known as a Wawa in our area convenience store. I said, no, you guys want anything? And no, you know, they were nice enough. And so when I was there, surprisingly, found a Starbucks before I found the Wawa. I don't know how that happens. I really don't. Just, it happened. So while I was waiting for my tea to be made, I did my little trick of trying to Google the house to see if I could figure out what the layout of the house was. And there was nothing in there at all other than a front aerial view of it that could be found. So I got my drink and I got back and I started chit-chatting. Well, this time there was probably a dozen people there now. So I started asking around. Of course, only one person had acknowledged that they had ever shopped with these people before. And they really didn't have a lot to say about pricing. They just said they were okay. So I thought, all right, well, that's not bad, you know. And I got the idea. I said, well, I'm going to go sit down. There was a bench on the front porch, and I could look through. It had the big picture window that I showed in the front of where everybody was still waiting. And I thought, I'm going to go up and see what I can look through these windows for. Well, on the porch, there was a side door into the garage, and there was garagey kind of things. Can you be surprised? But I could see in the window through these lace curtains, it was all the backs of the boxes that were the Kermit the Frog that I mentioned, these model cars that you would build. And when I sat down to take a look I try to look at like the background and what they're showing in the pictures, like what else is showing in the pictures, to kind of get a feel for what else is around it. So when I go in, I can just easily identify where I need to go. And I started to take notice that when you looked at the sequence of how she uploaded the pictures, it was like she went right down that table. So I started to take notice she must have just gone right down the table and went right around the room, went to the next room, went right down the room, did the same thing. So I took notice that what I wanted had this dark paneling, 70s paneling in the background. And all the other stuff had like an off-white color. So that told me this is in a different place. And I thought I could tell it was where the Christmas decorations were. And it's August. So I'm thinking, they probably have them in a basement. I don't know if this house has a basement, but it's probably in a basement. So she came out a little bit after 10, like maybe 2 minutes after, and let in probably about the first dozen people. And then she excused herself, and I think she was going in because I think they were only allowing one person in with these coins to look at a time. And I don't blame her with the way people steal stuff and all, you gotta monitor. And she had a very strong hold, like who was getting in the house, what was the rules, and you know, I respect that. I'm a rule follower, I like it, by all means. So, I thought, oh God, I'm not getting in. You know, what's gonna happen? What's going on? And she did let us in, and when I got up to having her call me, I said to her, I said, can you tell me where the Christmas decorations are? And she's like, oh, they're right, you know, she's very personal, right, go here, right down there, and they're in the basement. I thought, okay. Well, I get down the basement, and that whole table that I was showing in the one picture was covered with the Fisher-Price stuff. So thank God I had the sold stickers from the other estate sale people I go to. I had boxes. We weren't allowed to bring boxes and bags in of our own, but she did have them in boxes, and I could collect all this stuff up to a pile. But the only gentleman around that I could ask anything of was very fixated on looking at his LP albums. I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, it was quite the pile. So thankfully, just when I was kind of getting like, I don't know what to do, a gentleman that works for their organization came down, and I said, what can I do? And he says, I said, because I don't want to carry all this up and then find out that the pricing, because there was nothing priced. And he told me she'll do group pricing. I said, okay, good. I don't want to carry this all up and then not agree on a price. So he says, well, he says, he takes a picture and he goes up to show her the picture to get pricing for me. She winds up coming back because I get it. There was a lot of pieces and parts in these boxes and stuff. So she gave me a price, more than I wanted to pay, probably double than what I wanted to pay, because don't we all want to just pay like the lowest amount? But it was fair. It was fair for what I was getting, I'll say that. And I was like, great. So they did help me get these upstairs, but I thought, I don't want to pay and leave and come back in. So I told her, I said, I really want this stuff, but I want to keep looking. And she's like, I'm the only one that rings anybody up. She said, don't worry about it. This is all, I know this is your stuff. And we left it in these recliner chairs that was kind of in the dining room area. So I did look around. I really didn't look too much in the kitchen. And I did look, I found the Afghan. I did get the Afghan. Actually, I lied. I first went back to the basement to look at the Christmas stuff and found that all of that stuff was Hallmark. Tons and tons of stuff with Hallmark. I don't really know much about Hallmark, so I thought, if I was there to do the pre-sale and that kind of stuff, I could spend some time and look through, but I didn't have that luxury, and I had already spent more than I wanted to spend, so I thought, I'm not going to spend all that time doing that. I did find a homemade angel in there, so I will show you that. I'm going to go out in a minute and show you my haul. So, anyway, so I looked around. Somebody had took a bunch of clothes out. I was surprised to see, because there was supposed to be some older Levi's in there. And I went into the bedrooms, and like you tell, people have been in and out. But there was a hope chest with that Afghan sitting right on top of it. And the Afghan is beautiful. I'm going to show you that. That has to be one of the nicest ones. I did some research, and there was one that had sold that was similar in construction to it for like $200, but I think mine's nicer. And I mean that without bias. The other one had like a blue or purple background in the granny squares. Mine has white, so I feel like mine's a little bit more versatile for the house. But anyway, like I could tell, like nobody had even touched this. I'm trying to get it so that it's. I could tell like nobody had even touched this Afghan. So I was really surprised that there had been probably easily 20 people that came through, and nobody had even looked or touched this. I'm telling you, I think they were very fixated on the model cars, on the Matchbox, and the coins. There was people chit-chatting when I got back. I don't know if I mentioned that. They were all talking about like buying sterling silver and stuff. So I think really that they were not surprised, or I'm not surprised that they weren't really interested. I will tell you, there was a woman that came down that was in front of me being let into the house. After I had the pile together and the gentleman was down helping me, she started to show an interest in these Fisher-Price toys. So I do believe I got them because I was such a lower number and I was able to get in. But I was in for maybe about 40 minutes to 50 minutes before I paid and started trying to I had to make multiple trips out to the car. And I was shocked at how many people. There still had to be 30 people outside that hadn't even gotten in the house yet. I was shocked. But it was cute. I got chit-chatting with a lady on the porch while we were waiting. And when I was leaving, she was come back in, and she was like, I was taking my first load out to the car. And she's like, oh, did you get anything good? And I said, yeah, I got good stuff. And I, had been joking with her husband. He was cute. He came, and in front of his whole shirt said Hot Wheels. And I said, I guess you're letting us all know what you're here for, right? And I could tell I took him aback for a minute, because he was like, what? And I said, you got the Hot Wheels. And I gestured across my chest like I just did. And I said, you're letting us all know what you want, don't you? And he just laughed, and he goes, yeah. And I said, all right, well, you don't have any competition with me. I'm not here for that, So when I took that first load out to the car, she was coming back in, and she said that to me. And I said, and she's like, yeah. She's like, but he wants one of the cars that he's changed his mind on one of these cars. And we're walking to the front of the house, and she's like, but I don't know if they're going to expect me to wait back in line again or anything. And I said, no. I said, you're coming. You got to help me carry stuff, right? I could see she was kind of like, she didn't know how to take that. I'm like winking at her. I'm like, yeah, you need to come back in because you got to help me get this stuff. Because I thought, they're not going to tell her she can't come back in the house. Like, what kind of craziness is that? And then she got it, and it was kind of cute. So I had to make about 4 or 5 trips out, and I was going back in to get my last group of stuff. And here she comes out of the house with it. I'm like, I wound up finding her name was Pat. But I'm like, you didn't have to grab my stuff. And she goes, no, we got to stick together and get this stuff done. And I was like, well, you didn't have to. I said, I was just joking to get you in the house. And she's like, no, I caught on to that. So it was cute. But anyway, she was all worried she was going to get back. She was going to have to wait at the back of the line again. I was like, I can't imagine I'm going to make you do that. So let's go show you the haul. I'll be right back. How long? So all of this, plus I have stuff on the back seat, is all vintage Fisher-Price. There is lots of the people in here. Lots of people like in here. So I need to start carrying in. I do have that roll that I don't get to bring in until I finish what I have in the house. And I took my pictures, and that will be probably in the next hour. But here is this Afghan. It is beautiful. I thought it was only 4 styles of flowers, but I believe it to be 6. Look at this work that they did on the pansies. guessing this is supposed to be maybe a rose. Here we've got the daffodil. I don't know if this is supposed to be a hydrangea or what they did on that one. The blue here has a, I guess they have so much detail. She did the yellow on the inside, and then they got the daisy. So I thought it was really nice. It's probably the perfect size for a twin bed, or maybe as a mattress topper on a like full or queen size bed. One of the things I found in the bedroom were these. I guess this is my personal stuff. So these I thought were like a tin or something, but they're not. They're like a plastic. And they all have some price tag from Darlene's on them. They were originally, $2.45. Guess they got them in 02. Is that 9/21 02 maybe? Like I said, there's got to be like at least 12 of them in here. I thought they were really nice for somebody. This just doesn't seem to fit, but the work in that is just beautiful. So I'm going to add them up as a lot. Tons of stuff here. I have some in my back of my car. I'll show you that on the back seat. Here's my sold sticker. And here is this homemade angel that I found. She's backwards. I thought she was cute. I've done a lot of Christmas in my years, and very, very sweet for homemade. It's funny, she's just a pipe, and they just made the dress. This is just tissue they put in there to keep her, kind of fluffed up. So I thought she was cute, and she had given me the price on all of these Fisher Price, and then when I added the quilt, the fish, and that, it was only another $25. So I didn't think that was too bad. So then let me go around to my back seat, and again, this is the garage, and that is the airport. So as you can see, a lot of different pieces and components. Here's the bought that when I was at the community sale because I had too many people going into my pocketbook and would not stop even after I pointed out that it was my personal bag. So now I just take that with me as a wristlet. So this is my haul. I paid for everything $300, and I'm going to tell you that these buildings alone usually sell, if complete, anywhere from $50 to up to $200. I don't have the ones that are the most desirable, which is the hospital or the castle. But there is a lot of components in there. There's ones like, not necessarily that you're seeing on this, but there's a lot of these older ones that you pull along. So, yeah, like I said, I really do believe I got a lot of stuff packed in there. So I'll give you an update probably after I can get this stuff sorted out, inventoried, and starting to get listed.